My name is Lorelei Pryor. I'm a studio art major with a concentration in 2D. I first found interest in art when I was like a really little kid. I was always doodling, always just wanting to draw what was around me. Definitely a lot of drawing. Not great stuff, but I kept doing it, and so, yeah. I would say what's inspired me to create most of my art is all the nature around me. I've always been really big into doing all the plants and animals. I think what inspires me the most is just everything around me. I'd say my favorite medium is oil painting. I definitely love painting, and I love being able to blend and do the different colors in oil painting versus acrylic is just it dries so fast that you can't really blend it. Right now, the pieces that I'm doing in painting for my personal artwork, I have started doing life symbolisms, and my theme is identity, but not identity that you choose. It's things that you have no choice in. It's uncontrolled identity. I did an oil painting of my house. I did a painting that was my mom's side of the family's Mennonite. They're conservative Mennonite. They're basically Amish. They still wear the prayer caps and everything. They think I'm evil when I wear shorts at the family reunion. So I did a painting of my mom at her wedding, and she was the first woman in her family to never wear a prayer cap. And it's her with her two grandmothers, and they have prayer caps on. So I did a painting of that, just things that in my life that are personal that I can't control, and just exploring that. And also I want other people to consider what are things in their life that they had no control over, how does that impact them? My favorite art piece is a self-portrait I did. It's really big. I think it's 3 feet by 2 feet maybe. And it started as a digital art piece that I did. I took a self-portrait and some photos of flowers that I had taken, overlaid them, mixed with the colors, and then I took that piece and I turned it into a painting. Used a lot of cadmium yellow on it, which is toxic, but I'm really proud of it. It's not my biggest piece, but it's definitely one that I'm super proud of. So my business is a sustainable clothing brand called Lorelei Designs. I take a bunch of unwanted clothing, stuff that's gonna get thrown away, and I repurpose it and put my artwork on it with screen printing, and then I reintroduce it back into the clothing industry. So when I was a kid, I was forced to do a project on sustainability issues in the world, and one of them was the clothing industry because it's super wasteful, lots of fast fashion, child labor exploitation, stuff like that. And I was like, oh. And then I thought about it for a while, and then a couple years later I was like, okay, what can I do to stop this? So that's where Lorelei Designs comes in. The process of screen printing, I learned how to do it on YouTube when I was a kid. And basically, you take a screen made out of chiffon. It's this thin see-through fabric. And you get this photo emulsion. You mix it in with a stabilizer, and it turns this green liquid. And you put it onto the screen that's on a frame, kind of like any just a regular frame. I use old photo frames, and I staple the chiffon on. And then you take a squeegee and you smear all of the photo emulsion onto it in a thin layer, and then you have to put it in a dark room so that it can dry. Because the photo emulsion is light reactive, it's kind of like developing a photo. So if you let it dry in the sun, it will just all harden. And then you let it dry, and then I print out my designs. Usually I do black and white illustration, ink drawings, and I print them onto this clear paper. I don't know if you know what an overhead projector is. Yeah, that type of paper. And I put it onto the photo emulsion, and then I expose it to light. So the light goes over everything. The light hits everything that isn't covered by your design, and then that exposes, and I expose it for 3 to 4 minutes, depends on how bright my light is at the time. I use a grow light to make it work faster, and then you take it off, you take off the design that you put on top of it, and you rinse the photo emulsion screen in water, and everything washes off except for the areas that are hardened that were hit by the light. So you have a negative of the image that you're going to screen print onto a shirt. What is it like running this business? I'm not that great at running it sometimes, I think. I'm still learning a lot. I've had the business unofficially since my senior year of high school. I'm a junior in college now. And it just officially became an LLC, which is a limited liability company in the state of Maine. It became that like 2022. So I've technically only been running a business for like a year, but I've been kind of running it for a while now. It's just developed into like an actual business. And I'm not that great at marketing. I'm still learning as I go. Trying to focus more on like getting it into my community. I do a lot of advertising through TikTok, Instagram. Those are like my main sources. I've just started getting overseas sales, which is really cool, but also kind of scary because I'm like, I sent a package to the Netherlands like a month ago and it still hasn't got there, and I'm like, ah. But yeah, and I would say don't be afraid. Don't have like a specific idea of what you want it to be like. Like I came into it and I was like, I'm gonna be so successful. Like as soon as this becomes an actual business, I'm gonna make so many sales. In reality, that doesn't happen. So just don't get discouraged if you try something and it doesn't immediately work, because businesses can't be successful overnight. It's gonna take like months and years to accumulate like a successful business. So just don't get discouraged if when you start something, it doesn't go anywhere at first.